We tell you all the time about the revolving door in Washington. They get campaign contributions, the politicians do, then they retire, and then they take jobs with the same people who are giving them campaign contributions. And boy, there is no better example than former Speaker of the House, John Boehner. Now, the rest of the media treat him as a legitimate politician with real ideology and ideas, and he debated Democrats and also some conservatives in the House that he oftentimes did not get along with, etc. And he's an honorable gentleman, John Boehner. No. All he is a corrupt politician who did the bidding of his donors, and he did it for money. He never had any ideology. What he had was ambition, and he was there to collect checks and then hand them out, as you'll see in this story. So after he retired, people are wondering when he's going to become a lobbyist. Well, you now have your answer as to who he's going to work for. Today we find out former Speaker and unabashed smoker John Boehner was elected to the board of directors of tobacco company Reynolds American Inc, according to a press release from the company on Wednesday. Now, every article that talks about this talks about how he's a smoker. They're like, oh yeah, John Boehner smokes, that's why he went to go to work at the tobacco company. No, that's not why. That's not why. Now that might be a small part of it. The real reason is the money, Lebowski, of course. But you have to understand something. The tobacco companies have been bribing John Boehner and using him as a conduit for bribes for a long time. So over his 14 years in the House, Boehner received $497,112 in direct contributions from the tobacco lobby. So they bribed him while he's in office. He comes out of office. They bribe him now by hire him to do what? What is he? Is he an expert on planting tobacco? Is he an expert on running a company? No, he's not an expert on any of that stuff. He's an expert on how will you bribe the other congressmen that you're still buddies with. And if you go back into government, ooh, we're really going to need you in there. That's why they're doing it. So, but there is a wonderful example of how he did this and how brazen he was in this particular case. In 1995, a bill was introduced that would abolish a yearly $49 million giveaway of taxpayer money to tobacco companies. Now, why in the world would we want to take our hard-earned tax dollars and give it in the form of a subsidy to tobacco companies? Hey, it's called a free market, buddy. Good luck with that. Why do I have to subsidize your already profitable company that, by the way, happens to kill people? But leave that aside. It's legal, so go ahead and do it. But you don't need my money to do it. You know who agrees with me? Not just liberals and independents, but conservatives. If you're a conservative, this is crony capitalism 101. You should despise this. Don't you hate all those subsidies? And here it is, $49 million subsidy. Well, let's find out what happened during the vote. Well, as the bulletin from Represent.us explains, during the vote on whether or not to do away with the subsidy, Boehner circulated the House floor literally handing out campaign checks from tobacco companies to his fellow members. That's amazing. Not a care in the world. Not only is he bribing them, he's bribing them in public. Not only is he bribing them in public, he's bribing them on the floor of the House while they're voting, in the middle of the vote. Oh, by the way, here's your bribe, here's your bribe. And now when he gets a job with the same companies that used him to bribe other congressmen, people are like, oh, it's because he's a smoker. No. It's because he's a prostitute. That's why. Okay, by the way, his spokesperson back then, when asked, what the hell were you guys doing handing out checks in the middle of the House floor about that vote? Explained it this way. He said, well, quote, the floor is where the members meet. The town square is where the prostitutes show up. Where did you want us to hire the prostitutes? In the town square, of course. It's a house of ill repute. By the way, back then, they asked the Republican, Steve Largent, Oklahoma Republican, hey, who won on this issue? He said, the people passing out the checks won. And they did. The tobacco companies won, and they got to keep their $49 million subsidy that you and I pay for. And then they took a very small fraction of that many years later and now give it as a salary to John Boehner. Now you see how things work? If you don't get the money out of politics, they're going to keep robbing us blind day in, day out, year in, year out. Republicans, Democrats, all of them. John Boehner happens to be the perfect example of it. But understand the game they're really playing. Wolf-pack.com. Get the money out. Get it out, get it out, get it out. If you don't get it out, we're going to keep getting robbed. You can do it. We've already passed in 5 states. We're going to get an amendment. wolf-pac.com. Go do it right now. At the Young Turks, we believe in change. We believe we can change the media, make it more independent. Come do it with us. tytnetwork.com/join.